Hello everyone, my name is Aparna and today I'll be talking about scenario 3 which relates to welfare component of player care. Let's quickly look at the scenario. You have just joined a club that has not previously had a player care role within its academy, so the role is new to them and you. The priority for the club and academy is focusing on player welfare, which comes under your remit. So, why do we need welfare as part of player care? For the club interested in a welfare, it is important to start the discussion taking a holistic approach to welfare. For the club here, welfare was more related to operational sides of things. So that was the start. A holistic approach includes not only the physical well being of players, but also their emotional well being, their mental health, basically their overall well being. Dr. Kirsty Burrows, in her article in the Espeter Sports Medicine Journal, writes that a holistic approach is a right thing to do and that it is scientifically proven that focusing on players' psychological and emotional well being improves performance. She further states that players, while they are human beings first or people first, they are assets as well. And positive experience for them is more likely to lead to growth in player retention, more buy ins, lower cost overall. The bottom line that we all know clubs are always interested in. And now, looking at the two definitions here, starting with emotional well being, it includes components such as awareness and acceptance of one's feelings and managing those feelings through times of change and challenge. And we all know the amount of changes and challenges players go through there in their active professional lives. And the mental health definition about coping with stress in a highly demanding environment such as that of football. So, with the buy-in from the club hierarchy, once they are on board, it is time now to start working on the blank canvas, start painting on it, with establishing trust with everyone around, but most importantly with the players. Next up is about the priorities. As you would notice, I have listed all priorities as number one because they are all vital components. To lay the foundation and build on it is important. If this is done right, this is not only going to be beneficial for current group of players but also for the future growth. And not to forget, for the club, it is going to be sort of an important statement that they would be making that not only are they talking about welfare, but they are actually offering it and delivering it. Next, it is important to gain players' confidence and win their trust. If the players don't have confidence in you, if they don't trust you, if they don't believe in you, they are not going to come to you. They are not going to take up the services that are being offered to them. This is basically going to defeat the whole purpose of setting up the welfare component. And then, of course, next is action time. The players needs to see that the department is doing something, that they are establishing, they are delivering some concrete, taking some concrete actions and steps. It is not just about talk. As we all know, action always speaks louder than words. And then if your demeanor is someone who can't be is not approachable, who is unfriendly, then again you'll be turning the players away. Just like the confidence and the trust part, this is going to defeat the whole purpose. So it's important that you have that open environment. It's a friendly environment that players can approach you, and that they know that you are there for them. Now it is time to deliver. So I'm going to start this with the session that we had on welfare and where we spoke about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Here we need to ensure that players' basic needs are taken care of, be it their physiological needs or their safety needs, security needs. And then we need to treat each and every player as individuals. They are unique in their own rights, and that they have all unique needs. And while we are talking of players, we also need to make sure that their immediate loved ones are also taken into consideration. This would be like part of the holistic approach that I mentioned earlier in the presentation. We'll be also organizing regular workshops on emotional health, mental health, overall well being, like financial health, all those kind of workshops. Then, what is going to happen is players' feedback would be taken on this workshop, and based on this feedback, adjustments and adaptation would be made. Players will also have access to mental health professionals, addiction support, wellness consultants, financial practitioners in the area. And of course, confidentiality is imperative here. The players need should be able to access these facilities without fear of any repercussions or ridicule. They should be able to access without like fear of any consequences, like missing out on playing time, because they also need to take care of their mental health and or their emotional well-being. So the welfare component is in place for a year now, and how would we want it to look? Ideally, we would want the welfare provisions put in place are strongly entrenched in the club's player care component, that the welfare provision has players' trust and confidence, and that the players are happy and content with the welfare component, and it has had an impact, a positive impact on their on field performance. All players would have benefited from it in one way or the other, and the processes that are in place are evaluated on regular basis and adapted and adjusted according to the needs of the players. And for the key stakeholders, if there were any doubters, are now totally convinced that the welfare component was much needed. I'm going to wrap up this with this statement from Dr. Kirsty Burrows. Ultimately, caring about players is investing in both your employees and your greatest assets. It is not only likely to improve their on pitch performance, but transform the team spirit that, as any great manager would tell us, is a prerequisite for success. Thank you so much for listening.